Hi guys, it's Erica. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today's video is going to be on eyeshadow application. We are going for an easy but glam look, and this will be beginner friendly. So if you want to learn how to apply eyeshadow or know someone who wants to learn how to apply eyeshadow, then direct them to this video. I don't know how long the video will be, so just bear with me on that part. Simply because I'll be trying to cover all of the bases and the explanation while going through the video. So yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let's get into the video. Okay guys, so first let's start with the eyebrows. I like to do my eyebrows before I apply my eyeshadow. Mainly because I carve out my brows with concealer and I don't want it to mess up my eyeshadow. So for your brows, if you know how to do your eyebrows, then do your eyebrows first. If you do not know how to do your eyebrows, then I would suggest getting them groomed first. Whether it's threaded, arched, waxed, whatever. Get them groomed first because the groomed eyebrow makes the eyeshadow look better. That's just in my opinion. Now that we've gotten the eyebrows out of the way, let's move on to the actual eyelid itself. So like I said, I carved out my eyebrows with some concealer and I did not go past this region here. So now what I like to do is prime my eyes with eyeshadow primer. And one that I do like is the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion. So what I do is I just take a little bit of the eyeshadow potion on my ring finger here and I just apply it to the eye. Okay. Now, I think this step is really important to prime your eyes with an eyeshadow base because like me, if you're like me, I have oily lids, oily eyelids. And if you put the eyeshadow on top of your eyelid without priming your eyelid, the oil from the eyelids will mix in with the eyeshadow once you put it onto your eye, and it'll all just become a muddy mess. And within a few hours, your eyeshadow will be disastrous. So make sure you prime your eyes first. Even if you don't have oily lids, I like to prime my eyes just so that my eyeshadow can last all day and all night. So now we've used an eyeshadow base. The next step is I like to prime my eyes with concealer. I know you may say, well, you already used the eyeshadow base. What are you using the concealer for? If you have discolored eyelids, or if your eyelids are darker than your face or whatever, the concealer is going to create an even base so that your eyeshadow can show up more vibrant and the discoloration won't interrupt with the view of the eyeshadow. So I use the LA Girl Pro Concealer in Fawn to underline my eyebrow. And I use this shade mainly because it's close to my skin tone. But for my eyelid, I'm going to use the LA Girl Pro Concealer in Cool Tan. And I'm using Cool Tan because it's a little lighter than my complexion. But it also works well with the application of eyeshadow because by it being a lighter base, the eyeshadow will appear more pigmented if you go with a lighter base for your eyes. So what I'm just going to do now is apply some concealer to my eyes and blend it out. And you don't have to apply a lot. Always start with a little bit of product and then gradually add if you need it. You can always add, but sometimes it's hard to take away. Now, typically after this step, I don't apply powder to my eyelids, and let me explain why. Now, even though you put the concealer on, it's a matte concealer, if it's not set with the powder, if you just go in with the brush, with some eyeshadow, it can tend to skip around mainly because it isn't a satin base. It's just a little bit sticky. I know how to apply the eyeshadow doing it this way, but since we're going for a beginner friendly look here, we're going to set this lid with some powder. So you don't need a lot of powder, and you don't need a lot of powder, and you don't need any particular brush. So basically I just took some loose setting powder. That's all that's in the cap right there. And just like a little fluffy brush and just a little bit of that powder. And I'm just going to set that concealer. And mainly what we're doing here is just creating a smooth base for the eyeshadow to glide onto. So now eyebrows are done. Our eyes are primed. We are ready for eyeshadow. So one of the things that is very important with eyeshadow is the actual eyeshadow itself. Meaning knowing what brands have what good eyeshadows. One brand that I love for eyeshadows is Juvia's Place. So I'm going to be using the Douce palette by Juvia's Place for this eyeshadow look today. Not saying you have to go out and get this eyeshadow palette for to do your eyeshadow. Whatever eyeshadows you have at home, you can practice the look. So we're mainly just going to be practicing on just concept here, just getting the actual concept of the eyeshadow application. So this is the inside of the palette. So first, we have to we'll go in with the transition shade. And when I say transition shade, I mean if you look at the crease of your eye, and the crease of your eye is where you can feel the actual socket of your eye right here. I have hooded eyes. You see the folds? I have folds here right below my crease, which means I have to go a little bit further up above my crease for my eyeshadow to show up. So your transition area is right above your crease area. So in this area here is where we will focus the transition shade. I typically like to go in, depending on what look you're doing. We're doing a glam look today. So I'll typically like to go in with the vibrant shade or a more neutral shade for the transition area. You don't want to go in with black or anything super dark in the transition area. The transition area is mainly for your eyeshadows to become gradient into. Okay, it'll gradually go into that shade. So we're going to take this shade right here called Custard and apply this to the transition area. And these shadows are very pigmented. So like I say, start with a little bit of eyeshadow and then gradually blend until you get the color that you like. So I'm just stamping the eyeshadow on initially to get the color onto my eye. And then I'll start to blend it out. Okay, so far this is what we have. I want to add a little bit more color. So I go back into the palette, dab a little bit more, tap off the excess, and then keep applying. And all I'm doing right now is just going back and forth, blending it out, adding more color to my liking. And this step is mainly to your liking. If you feel like this is enough color for you and it's blended out, then you stop right here. So we're just blending. I haven't added any more product to the brush. I'm just blending on what I have. And make sure that you get on the edge of it right here. Blend that out. If you feel like you have too much product left on your brush, then get another brush, a clean brush, and blend out the edges. And what I didn't explain to you was the brush that I'm using. I'm using a blending brush. And this brush right here, it's not tightly compacted, and it's real round and fluffy, just to allow the eyeshadow to be easily distributed. We're finished with this brush. So what I'm going to do now is take a smaller blending brush. You see the difference in size? This one is more fluffier and blown out. This one here is just like a smaller version of this brush. So now we're going to take this brush, go back into the palette to the shade Chocolate, and we're going to apply this to the crease area. Don't forget to take off the excess color off your brush. So we're going to go right here. And I'm just packing it on. And we are going to go for a halo eye. And halo means that, we've applied this transition shade. For the crease shade, we're going to apply it here, here, but we're going to leave the middle of the eye open. And I'm not blending yet, I'm just applying the eyeshadow. And so now we have eyeshadow in the inner corner and the outer corner of the eye. Now we're going to bridge these two together. Just be sure not to take this dark shade above that pink, the pink shade. And just take your time. Go slow. And I like Juvia's Place eyeshadow palettes because they are very pigmented and they blend really easy. Sometimes you can get an eyeshadow palette and once you start to blend the eyeshadows, it become a muddy mess. It's like they blend in together or something, but these don't. You can still, hence you can still see the pink and you can still see the brown. And do you see what I mean by halo? This right here, we haven't applied any product yet to this area right here. We're going to keep going around it. Okay, this is what we have so far. So far, so good. Stay with me. Stay with me. Now, when we first applied that pink transition shade, you may have thought, well, damn, this is a bold. This color is bold. This is pink. But once we applied this chocolate shade right here, it has kind of muted out the pink eyeshadow. That's why we call it a transition shade. This brown has transitioned very nicely into that pink shade and it makes it look really good. So now, this is what we have. If this looks good to you, if this is to your liking, you don't want to add any more of the brown or any more of the pink, then don't do it, okay? That's fine. Just wait until we apply the lid shade. However, I want to deepen this up just a little bit more with this same chocolate shade. So I'm going to go in just a little bit, tap off the excess, and just keep doing what I've been doing. Okay, so now I think I'm finished with that chocolate shade for right now. I'm going to take that first brush that I used to apply that pink shade and just go back and just blend those two shades together. Okay, so far we've applied the transition shade, blended it out. We've applied the crease shade and blended it out. Now we're going to apply the actual lid shade here for this halo area. So we're going to go back into the Juvia's Place palette and we're going to take the shade Tart and apply it to the eyelid. Now some eyeshadows with the shimmery shades, if they're not showing up as good, then you can wet the brush with like some setting spray or just a tad bit of water and apply it to make it appear more vibrant. With the Juvia's Place eyeshadows, you don't need to. As you can see, I'm using a dry brush and the shades are showing up really, really well. Okay, so now we've applied that lid shade. We're going to go back into that chocolate shade and blend the edges out. And you see what I mean right there? How it's blending, it's making it more, it looks more gradient. That's what we're doing. And this is the eye. So if you want to add a little bit more pink to that transition shade, you can do that. If you want to darken this up a little bit more, you can do that. If you want to add more of this, your shimmery shade onto the lid, then do that. You customize it to your liking. So now the eye is just about complete. However, I like to finish my foundation, all those things, before I complete my eye. So I'll go off camera, I'll complete this eye, I'll come back with my face done and my lashes on, and we'll finish from there. Okay, so I'm back. I've completed the eye. I've placed eyelashes on. Of course, I did my face. Now, as far as anything with the eyes, I haven't applied any other shadows. I did apply lashes. Now, if you don't know how to apply eyelashes, or if you just don't like them, you can just put you a couple of coats of mascara on and you'll be fine. But I left the lip off just because I'm not quite sure what lip color I want to do yet. I want to wait until I finish the eyes. So what I need to do now is the bottom lash looks naked because it's nothing there. I either put eyeliner or eyeshadow or something like that on my bottom lash line just to make the look complete. I also like to do inner corner highlighting. Now, this is strictly my preference. If you don't like doing either of these things, then you don't have to. Just simply, take what you like from the look and make it your own. So first, I'm going to start with some inner corner highlight. And I'm going to take the Naked Cosmetics holographic highlighting palette. And I think I'm going to use, I don't know. We have enough bluish purplish going on. I think I'm going to take this yellow shade right here and place it in my inner corner. This yellow gold shade. And you're just simply taking a small brush. Like I say, start with a little bit and gradually build it up until it's to your liking. I think we're going to go with that. Also, I wanted to mention, once you start doing your eyeshadow, I would suggest, if you're a beginner with eyeshadow, don't complete this eye and then try and mimic this eye. Whatever you do to this side, go ahead and do to this side. And I say that simply because, you may complete this eye and get it how you want it, but then when it comes time for you to do this eye, it may be hard for you to mimic what you've done to this eye. Now, if you're comfortable with applying eyeshadow, then by all means, whatever works for you. But if you're new to applying eyeshadow, then whatever you do to this eye, if you apply your transition shade, once it looks good, go over here and do that transition shade, okay? So, I think that's enough for the inner corner. And I don't think I'm going to apply any eyeshadow to my lower lash line. I think I want to do an eyeliner. Now, if you're a beginner, again, sometimes it can get a little bit messy underneath your lower lash line when you're using eyeshadow. So simple, easy, quick. Get a color eyeliner, put it in your waterline, you'll be finished. So let's see what color I want to do for my waterline. So I have a metallic purple pencil by NYX, but I also have a blue by Maybelline. It's Glam, so let's see. And even though it looks a lot, honestly, I only used 3 eyeshadows for the top. Then I just took that shade for the inner corner and popped it in there. So that's all we did. And like I say, it's a glam look, but it's easy to achieve. So for my waterline, I think I'm going to take the blue. So this is Maybelline waterproof gel pencil in the shade Lustrous Sapphire. And I'm going to take this color and just place it into my waterline. Let's see here. The eyes are pretty bold, so I think what I'll do is go in with more of a nude lip. So I'm going to use MAC lip pencil in cork, and I know I've used this a couple of times in my other videos, but this is just like a pretty neutral lip liner that you can pretty much wear any nude lipstick with, and it blends in with my skin tone really well. So you can see how much I've used I've used it. It's a fave. It's definitely a fave. So I'm going to line my lips with the this pencil and then decide on what shade lip color I want to go with. So now I'm going to go in with the lip color, and I'm going to be using the CoverGirl Melting Pout Matte lip in the shade Coral Chronicles. Okay, so I finished the lip, and I like this lip combo with the eyes. Now I'm going to go back in with that second coat of eyeliner just to make it a little bit more dramatic. Okay guys, so this is the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it was inspiring enough for you to attempt to do your eyeshadow. I know the look is a little bit bold, but it was easy. I said it would be easy. We only used 3 colors in an eyeliner. So yeah, just practice. It's just eyeshadow. It's just makeup. It washes off. As far as the lip color, if you would like to do a different lip color, or if you don't want to do a color at all, if you just want to do gloss, that's totally up to you, whatever your preference is. If you don't like the inner corner highlight, you don't have to do that. If you just wanted to do a black eyeliner in your waterline, that's perfectly fine too. The look was just to inspire you and just explain, you know, how you can get a glam look really, really easy. Also, I was thinking about doing in one of my upcoming videos a foundation tutorial, also including in that you know, how to pick out your shade and how to shop for foundations at the drugstore, because the shade ranges aren't you know, aren't that big in variety at the drugstore. Sometimes you have to, you know, buy 2 shades and mix those 2 shades together. So I was thinking about doing a video on that. Comment you know, comment and let me know if that's something you'll be interested in seeing. So I really thank you guys for watching. Thank you for supporting. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share the video. Send some friends over if you know someone that wants to learn how to do eyeshadow. I really had fun creating this look, and I hope you guys enjoyed it just as much. Thank you for watching. Until next time.